Once again, we are back with Joseph Nimo, the young economist who is still in school getting training, who is still fascinated about the performance of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the former vice president of Ghana and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Nimo, what's up?
Cool, Adi.
All right, so we are looking at something different about Bawumia today. His chances of 2028 national elections in Ghana.
Let's take it that way. I really like how Bawumia is becoming famous in a conversation, and I hope it serves the purpose.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So is this something you are looking forward to seeing him run again in 2028?
Well, I'm seeing Bawumia running in the primaries. For that one, I see it. But I can't determine the outcome of the primaries. Not yet. But we are taking the fortunes of Bawumia today, both in the primaries and in the general elections, if he makes his way, and what is likely to happen. That is the trend we are about to analyze today. Bawumia appearing in the primaries, which is taking place in 2026. And if he is able to make his way through, what are his chances in 2028 general elections?
All right. So let's look at the likely candidates that may come up.
Okay.
We are looking at Ken Ejapon.
Yeah.
We are looking at Bawumia himself.
We are looking at Educhum.
Educhum,
is quite likely to get in.
The education minister.
To the race, yeah.
Would he be part of the race?
He's quite likely to get into the race. Yeah, he's likely to do so.
I don't see him winning, but that is...
that is... yeah.
All right, so it will definitely be about Kennedy Ejapon and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Yes.
Okay, so if you had to put your bet on one, who are you looking at?
Oh.
And why?
Currently, in fact, I don't have the full analysis yet to put my bet on one. I may be partisan and support one. But that is quite emotional. I can't draw conclusion from my emotions that I support this, so I want this to win at all costs.
But you are the guy who has been talking about Bawumia's dynamism in economics, even though I totally disagree with you. You are the same guy.
Yeah.
So if Bawumia had to stand against Kennedy Ejapon, and since he is your mentor, I would suggest, or I would think you would pick him out of whichever competition he's in.
Oh, see, the basis of the conversation we have every day is that Bawumia is doing his professional job. I just came to clear a notion that I think is quite a deviated perception about the former vice president.
If he's indeed doing his professional job and you think he has done it well, why won't you give him the nod to run for the flag bearer of the party?
Okay, the fact that he did what he was supposed to do doesn't mean he didn't have fault. Fault as in the fact that you were under someone who was not implementing your proposals, your theories you propounded. I think he could have done better as a vice president.
There is nothing he proposed they didn't implement. I don't know what you are talking about.
In fact, effective implementation, I must say. But in other words, me speaking all these facts about Bawumia is me trying to clear the notion that Bawumia did not do his job as an economist. Let me repeat that. Bawumia did not do his job as an economist, because the economist I know is to follow trend, make recommendations, tells policy makers to do this, do that. And it is in the mantle of the president to listen to proposals or not.
So in your estimation, Bawumia did his job absolutely right.
He gave us, in fact, let me tell you this. Why is it that until Bawumia's time, we were not finding active vice presidents? And even after Bawumia, we are still not finding active vice presidents.
And that is still against Bawumia in the sense that people voted for Nanado and Bawumia because of the dynamism of Bawumia. People listened to his seminars and his lectures in universities and said, this man is bringing something new to the table. It was all talk. when he was pointing at the faults and the shortcomings and the inefficiencies in the NDC government at the time, it was convenient for him to do it. And people thought, okay, because he's able to point out and make suggestions and recommendations, he will do better. He talked his way into winning people to vote for the MPP at the time. But after he had talked his way to winning, he couldn't match it up with performance.
So Bawumia did not do well being able to craft lecture messages to bring his party to power.
Campaign messages are to win people.
Yes.
But after you've won, you have a job to do.
Yes. And after it...
Is it just winning or winning to deliver?
It was winning to deliver. And it was whose duty?
It was Bawumia's duty.
It was Bawumia's duty.
The reason why
as the vice president.
I'll tell you why. People listen to you. It's like when you are a successful man and you have made proposals in public spaces and people listen to what you said and for that reason invested their money in you. When it comes to the implementation, no matter who is implementing it, if it doesn't go well, people are not looking at the people who implemented it. They gave their money to you because of what you said. So if you want to protect your reputation, what you do is, no matter who is implementing, you have supervision over it so that you protect your image. But you cannot come out and just say, I proposed it right. I wrote it down right, but they didn't deliver right. When people voted for your party because of you.
Do marketers in car manufacturing companies manufacture car?
Marketers?
In like the marketing department?
They don't manufacture cars.
Yes.
But they are not campaigning for people's votes. They are campaigning they are not campaigning for people's votes to become presidents and vice president of a country. This is two different things you are comparing. Oranges are not apples. Marketers are only projecting what a company has. This is what we have to offer. That's fine. This guy is saying to you literally, the ones that are working now, they are inefficient, they are not good, they are bad, kick them out, bring me in to come and deliver. This is different from somebody selling what he has. This is those people who have this, who are in charge now, they are bad for you. They cannot deliver. I can deliver. So give me the nod. You were given the nod. You couldn't deliver. I don't know how it's totally different.
My last point on this is that, do you still object to the fact that Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo, could have somehow be an autocratic leader?
Well, to me, as a citizen of Ghana, I saw a glimpse of it. But between him and Bawumia, I don't know.
Yes.
Because they are all sitting at the same table. And for one or two reasons, I cannot conclude on that. Because these are the two people who campaigned and got the votes. So I would assume that whilst they are sitting around the same table, they have some sort of understanding. Whether he is autocratic towards Bawumia or not, Bawumia never showed us any sign
that somehow
Nana is autocratic towards me. He didn't. He was always making it look like everything is under control. He's always laughing, dancing, and dancing offbeat. That was not a sign of being suppressed.
Okay, we are analyzing Bawumia's chances in 2028 today. And I will start with the primaries. That Bawumia has not declared intentions yet as to whether he will be standing in the primaries. But I would take his concession speech in the first place. There is a part that indicated that we live to fight another battle or another day. So sessions of his concession speech indicate that he has the zeal and the passion to get into the primaries again. Again, what I saw, and I'm insinuating that Bawumia is likely to come back into the primaries, is that he has been, seeking public attention post-elections. And these are tactics of politicians to, project the fact that they have interest in being on the ballot paper. So I think in that case, if I am to do my analysis from that particular aspect with regards to Bawumia's public exposure and even his public speeches, I will maybe draw the conclusion that he will find himself on the NPP primaries candidate list. So he will be there. Now let's analyze his chances. It is clearly known to everybody that follows politics and specifically followed last 2 years MPP primaries, that somehow, not plain, but somehow, Bawumia was handpicked by Akufo-Addo. A lot went on. We all saw it, having a candidate where some people were threatened on their appointments just to throw their support for a particular candidate. So we could say, or we can say, that in the previous primaries, he had the backing of not just anybody, any other person than the president of the state. So, in fact, he had some percentage of chances with that particular regards. So I can say that that pushed him in getting the nod in that particular primaries. But in this particular primaries, that will be no more. Now, that will be no more though, but does that mean that His Excellency former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is still not going to throw support for Bawumia? That is also a question. He may not have the previous influence he was having, threatening of appointments, but maybe he may be having something different that may be able to compete the influence he was having initially supporting Bawumia. So if President Akufo-Addo is still going to support Bawumia, I can say is going to fetch him some votes, in one way or the other.
Do you really think Nana Akufo-Addo is still that relevant and popular in the NPP party?
Okay, that is why I say that although the previous influence is not there anymore, but at least we can't say Akufo-Addo's support for Bawumia will not fetch him even a single vote.
I'm not insinuating that as
yes.
well. But what I'm saying is, does it really give him any significant push over whoever he is competing with?
It will not give him a significant push, considering the previous influence not being there anymore. But I am insinuating that maybe it could help him break tie. Maybe that particular vote that...
Let me ask you this and be honest with me. If candidates are going to vote for Bawumia, if NPP primaries are conducted and they are going to vote for either Bawumia or Kennedy Japan, why should they vote for Bawumia? What would make people vote for Bawumia in the primaries?
Okay.
I want to be sure if
okay,
I understand you right.
Now, what will make people vote for Bawumia is this one. I'm saying it from experience. I may not mention the person's name, but I'm saying it from experience. I know someone who immediately he hears Ken's name gets irritated from past experiences. In fact, Ken is a personality that he does not like, regardless. Or sorry, she is a she. She does not like, regardless. So I can assure that particular vote for Bawumia, regardless.
And that vote is an MP vote?
No, it's a party executive vote. And I know, in fact, I know that there are certain personalities in the NPP delegates that do not like Ken at all cost. Ken has certain behaviors that many people object to. For that one, we need to be frank of that. So all those people that do not like Ken, anything about him, reject him totally, their votes are assured for Bawumia and no other candidate. And also, we can see from the fact that some people among the delegates may assess, I mean the well-known ones or the elites specifically, may assess the 2024 general election results and provide a room for improvement for Bawumia and therefore vote him in. Now, people that may assess the 2024 general election results, the trend, and compare it to historic, precedents with regards to Mahamudu's chances in 2016 and 2020, not even to talk of 2024. Mahamudu's chances in 2016 and 2024. Those people among the delegates that may get the time to do that particular analysis may settle in for Bawumia.
So you are confident?
I'm not confident
that certain delegates have solid reasons.
Yes.
To vote for Bawumia.
Yes, certain delegates have solid
Number one, you said
reasons.
Some top executives.
Yes.
Don't just like what do you call it?
Kennedy Japan and his personality,
his rhetorics and his personality.
Yes.
Okay. Number two is because some may do their own analysis.
Yes.
To see how they can correct.
Yes.
Some of the
and
mistakes.
may see some potentials going forward in Bawumia. Yeah.
Okay. But don't you also think at this point there is no need for salvation for Bawumia? The reason is simple. There is no single vote, not even a vote, campaign or push or support Bawumia didn't get. Bawumia had the upper hand in terms of every type of support or logistic or presidential aid and assistance, everything he needed at his disposal.
Okay.
It was at his disposal.
Okay.
And yet he had the worst performance in Ghana's Fourth Republic.
Mahama was president and had everything but lost
Mahama
historically.
Didn't lose with those numbers.
Oh, but Mahama's numbers too was historic until this particular one
Mahama didn't lose with those numbers. Mahama lost with about
800,000.
800,000.
Yeah.
This is about 1.7.
But Mahama also, the fact is that Mahama also had a historic loss.
But Bawumia has broken it and doubled it.
So what, okay, maybe there may be another instance that could break up this history also.
Oh, that is what you are suggesting.
Yes, because
I
see, after 2016 elections, it was very hard for pollsters to insinuate or predict wins that will be much bigger than the 2016 margin.
You actually believe it's likely Mahama or no, Mahama may not come. Whoever comes may lose with more than.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that in future events, there is a possibility that a particular candidate can give this margin. There is a possibility.
I see.
Because, after Mahamudu's loss in 2016, even when pollsters are doing polls or conducting polls and are getting figures, that is the reason why global info analytics is very much respected at this particular point in time. They were the only ones who saw the great margin exceeding 2016 and was bold enough to project it. I can tell you emphatically that other researchers also saw this. But, looking at the trend in Ghana elections, a country that was winning elections, 42,000 votes, less than 100,000 votes, all of a sudden rose to 800,000. It was quite,
sizable.
Yes, and it did not continue in 2020. 2020, it reduced, although still historic. It was the second history. So it reduced. So it was very hard for them to I can tell you emphatically that a lot of researchers saw what Global Info Analytics saw.
Let me make it personal at this point. You are also aspiring to be an economist. Bawumia is your mentor. Would you want to see Bawumia back as president? Would you want to see Bawumia as president of Ghana?
Will I want to see Bawumia as president of Ghana? As it stands, I still have a percentage of things or assignments to undertake before I can give a solid answer on that. As it stands, I still have a percentage of assignments I need to undertake before I can give a solid grounds on that.
I don't know why you are struggling with helping your mentor. If your statement would tip the balance to give Bawumia a notch over whoever is there, wouldn't you be willing to give it to him?
Mentoring someone doesn't necessarily or automatically throw your support to the person.
Oh.
That is different. You know, you can see someone can be in a business. You mentor the person business-wise, but the person may be rude elsewhere. The person may be, disrespectful. But when it comes to business, you see the person performing. When you go to board meetings, you see the person giving sense. You can mentor the person in business, but not in life.
Well, I think I don't really wish Bawumia come back and run and win and become the president of Ghana. I didn't like what Bawumia did to Ghana's economy.
Well,
and I've been very blunt with this. I didn't like how he managed our economy, where he took it from, where we ended by the end of 2024. I didn't like in terms of Ghana's exchange rate. I didn't like it in terms of our inflation. I didn't like it in terms of promises that were undertaken in a very shabby, unfulfilling, in a very rushy manner. I didn't like it. I thought Bawumia is the kind of person who is all talk and no action.
Okay, I think we got quite some clarity on that in the previous video. So if you are watching this particular video and you've not watched our first episode on Bawumia, under a bad canopy or just incompetent, I think you should refer to that particular video and you may find some answers to that particular one. But continuing from the primary chances, my third analysis is on the margin. In that particular elections. Now the margin is that 61%, 37%. This is the margin. It is historic in MPP primaries. This was quite tough, but this win was historic. Is Kennedy Japan going to be able to close that gap? Because there need to be faithful voters, regardless of the influence. There has to be people who genuinely like Bawumia. And I know quite some people like that who genuinely like Bawumia. So the gap was too wide. That Mohammed's gap he got in 2016, he couldn't use 4 years to close it. He used 8 years to close it. So I think 61-37 is quite a gap that Kennedy Japan may be able to use 2 years because the primaries is next year. So 2 years to close. But that doesn't mean he can't close it. But it needs extra effort that if he is not able to put in that particular effort, it's going to be quite difficult for him to close that gap. Let me move on to the fourth one, which is bounces back to influence. Now let's look at this. Bawumia may have lost Akufo-Addo's influence, but Bawumia is having someone like Wuntumi's influence. Now let me break this down for you. Let's see this. Let's take careful note of this. Akufo-Addo may have been incompetent, but he was able to use power to influence his party. Provided Wontumi is able to become the national chairman, as he is planning to, provided he succeeds, he may be incompetent, he may not be liked by some people, but Wontumi, in fact, even if he has the momentum to become the national chairman and succeed and support Bawumia, that should write something meaningful for Bawumia's votes. Because the person may not be competent, but let's note that delegates, this is delegates, few people that can be influenced by money. We shouldn't forget that. So the same way Akufo-Addo had the influence, although Bawumia has lost that influence, but not totally, because he may have Wontumi.
So you are hanging the hopes of Bawumia again on the possibility of Wontumi winning a national chairman.
Maybe it could be so, because
I don't know. Wontumi winning the national chairman for the MPP?
That is it.
Why?
Wontumi.
Why?
Listen, prior to the 2024.
Why?
Prior to the 2024.
Will this happen in Ghana?
Prior to the 2024 delegates conference or whatever, Wontumi was still irrelevant in the Ashanti region. But see how Wontumi took Ashanti region.
No, look at the voter turnout in Ashanti region. If the MPP is a serious party, you have to look at the voter turnout in the person who is running for the office. Delegates had the worst turnout in the national elections.
Yes.
Ever in Ashanti region. And you want to pick this same guy to make him national chairman.
And let me tell you, even if Wontumi doesn't come for national chairman and he goes in again for Ashanti regional chairman,
even win.
He will win.
No, I'm not saying he won't win. But if he wins, it tells a lot about what is happening in Ashanti region. That is the
disadvantage of delegates conference. You know, the size of the delegates.
We are also told they want to blow up the whole thing and bring in everybody who is a member of the party, who holds a card, to now be able to vote.
Provided that is done. Then
if that is done, that is a good thing.
That is a good thing. But given this, how was Akufo-Addo able to influence this thing with money and power? If it was he able to influence the entire population in Ghana?
Of course not.
No. So looking at the size of the delegates, the size of the population, if someone is is being backed by money, my brother, let's not limit the person's chances. It's likely 500 cedis per person, 300 cedis per person, fridges, motorbikes. I know people who get them all. And when you get them, you will be faithful. You will vote. So if we are talking about this particular size, I think we should Bawumia being back with money, and Wuntumi's influence may have. And it's not Wontumi alone. We have the lives of Abronye and all those.
Abronye is the same thing. In his constituent, his region, in his region, most of the people there, they lost most of their seats to the NDC. Yes.
But that doesn't take him out of his relevance in the party. It is
no.
This is internal elections.
If the MPP party is not based on performance, that is very disappointing. If you are going to be voted for, we should look at your track record. What were you doing in the last elections?
Yes.
Was it good? Was it not good?
Yeah.
Then we judge you based on that. We cannot just let people go in and out because they are loud. Loud bringing in what?
Yes. And, you know, I anticipate a very big scrutiny in the MPP party. But Ghanaians, anything can happen. Although I expect them to, in fact, a thinking MPP party, a thinking MPP party, and an MPP party that learns from experience should, in fact, make changes in about 80% of the current portfolios they have in their executives. A thinking MPP party and an MPP party that learns from experience should take home about 80% of their current executives, party executives. You get it?
That may help.
But still, we can't predict, because this is the same party that is still having the money, although in opposition.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you, folks. We'll come your way with another one.